What's up, my basic little banana splits? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, bringing you day 3 of nodewihoe. Probably a little bit later than I should. In fact, it might not even publish by day 3, depending on what time zone you're in. But listen, I've had a very long day. We had a massive giveaway stream this morning. I think we had like 10 winners and all. We were giving away Empyrean Grand Bundles, Deluxe Skins, Platinums, all of that sorts. So if you want to go ahead and join in on round 2, we're actually going to be having that tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time over at twitch.tv/agayguyplays. Now, just as a little bit of a friendly reminder, we do have a Ivara Prime Access giveaway that's going to be down in the description box below, so make sure you follow that link and do all the things to get all of the entries, because it fits with today's video where we're going to be customizing Ivara Prime Access. Now, as always, I have gone and prepped 3 different looks for your inspiration, and in addition to the armor and Syandana that come along with her in Prime Access, we'll be taking a look at how other ones fit with her as well, and we'll close things out by swapping a little bit ahead, as well as body, because you guys like to see how different skins work on this, and there are some great Tennogen out there for her. So without ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. Wait, it's supposed to be, let's get dressed. I fucked it up. We'll keep it. Okay, so just a couple reminders before we get started. First and foremost, all of the color codes for these customizations are going to be found down in the description box below. In addition to that, I play with legacy palettes turned off, so if you're wondering why some of your looks don't match up with my looks, you can just go ahead and go into your options, and I believe it's in the gameplay panel, and you could just flick that off, and then we should end up matching up from there. Now, as you can see, we're not starting off in like the normal appearance panel because I wanted to show off the freaking Artemis bow prime. I don't think I got to show that off in my preview, but wow, it looks really freaking good. And if you look closely, okay, you can see the emissive color right there, and then it goes into a pink. So even like the bow string is like tinted, and then you can see the little, I don't even know what that's called, the little feathery part. Well, what's supposed to be feathery, it's metal here, clearly, on the arrow itself. Oh god, it's like galaxy. I wish they had added some of that like emissive blue in there as well to kind of give an extra shimmer, but listen, we can only dream so big, alright? The arrow tip is also absolutely gorgeous, and when I was looking at this, I thought to myself, it looks kind of like the Skyerzz Prime. So I went ahead and loaded that up, and I realized, wow, the Skyerzz Prime kind of looks like garbage in comparison to this bow. I was like, wow, it looks really like busy, really horny. It looks oddly shaped. I was like, I'm not as it. I used to really think it was cool looking. Now I'm like, the Artemis bow prime kind of shits on you like a ton. Like, look at this little, like this little bit right here. I love it. It's so beautiful. All right, never mind. We're gonna have to go into the actual look itself before I get to, you know, flustered over all of that heat. Now, as you can see, we're kicking things off with our iconic rose gold look. But if I'm gonna be honest, I wanted to go ahead and soften up the rose gold metallic and actually bring it a couple pips forward, because I feel like it's so soft with all of like the jellyfish like accents that I'm like, oh, the rose gold might be a little too strong, so I kind of wanted to bring it down like one slot to like so that it's not too pale, because it's a little too pale for me, but like maybe like one pip down and it would be perfect. You still get that pop of that kind of like peachy rosy gold that's perfect, but we're gonna leave it a classic rose gold for now. Now, somebody was saying on Twitter that's just way too much black, but if you look very closely, I actually wanted to play this off with a little bit of an oil slick look. So as you can see, the tertiary is actually kind of like a deep purpley, like leaning a little bit warmer, and then we also have this kind of like teal coming in the back and like mixing in with that dark gray. I'm like, ooh, I'm just feeling all of the oil slick peacock jellyfish vibes. I'm just trying to put all these different kind of like animals together, and technically it looks more like raven feathers. There's a lot going on here. Regardless, I absolutely love it, and the skin itself is just, it's really, really cool because you can go a couple different ways with it, where you can really make the jellyfishy parts very, very soft and almost not even there, so ethereal, or you can make those parts pop and then make everything sink into the background, which is kind of what I did with the rest of my looks. Regardless, I'm absolutely loving it. I mean, little details like that little, I think it's like, I think that's actually a thing that archers have to kind of like make sure that their knuckles don't get hit by the bow thingies. Listen, I'm not an archer myself, so I don't exactly know all of that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And I love the way that they've kind of like changed the way that she holds her arrows on the side. It's so pretty. I feel like Skyerzz really showed his bias here, which means that when Kahora Prime comes out, he's gonna need to work on that one as well, because I want as much Skyerzz bias on this as possible. Fucking fantastic, right? Next up, I really wanted to go ahead and capture that like Huntress feel and also mix a little bit of Toxin in there as well. Now, if you guys saw my Excalibur Zato Deluxe collection video, I was really falling in love with like this Hunter Forest olivey deep greens, and I wanted to incorporate that into Ivara as well because she is a Huntress. She was originally the Toxin Frog, so I figured I would go ahead and toss some Hunter on the base, still keep it pretty subdued, but you know, add a little bit of color in there, a little bit of interest, and then carry that into her emissive and energy color and really let that shine. Now, I'm gonna give you a couple like tips, and maybe I'll list this down in the description box too, so that you guys can get the color codes off of it. I'm using a very strong yellow in there, but that's not where this look started. It actually started off with a soft green because I kind of wanted it to be subtle. Where are you, Jeezy Pete's? I always forget. You guys know by now, I literally just scroll through things until I actually see what I need. But originally it was going to start off with that kind of yellow. I wanted it to be delicate. But then after looking at the skin, and this is kind of like my mentality when I balance out these skins, I'm like, all right, the base, even though it is light and it has like pops of color for Rob, I wanted to have a little bit more intensity, so I went ahead and upped that color. And let me tell you, my two favorite palettes for playing around with intensity are of course Classic Saturated and also the Easter palette, and those two I've been loving. So the Easter palette really makes for nice soft colors, so if you're trying to go for ethereal jellyfish, definitely play around with that one. And then if you're looking for stronger pops with the good variants, because the reason I like the classic palette for it is because it'll kind of give you an idea of what other colors will look like, and it gives you a pretty broad palette, right? And then as you're kind of like going through, you're like, oh, I like this color, but I want it to be slightly warmer. You can dig into your other palettes to kind of like fine tune the color a little bit more. So it's like your base palette to get ideas off of, and then you just go through and just make it perfect with the rest of the palettes in your collection. Regardless, I'm super duper fond of this. Now, while we're here, let's go ahead and talk about Syandana's, and we're gonna kick things off with her Syandana. I'm actually gonna search it up this time because I know that people get like antsy, and I have issues with it. So upon first look, I was actually like, oh, this fits really, really well. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, the whole backpack part, I actually kind of really like. But there is one glaring issue for me that I'm not super fond of, and it's the fact that the emissives don't quite match up. I even played around with it on the actual energy color itself to see if that like really affected it all that much, or was it the energy color that affected it? Regardless, oh no, it was the energy color that affected the way that that looked. The emissive is pretty much just, you know, the little bits in the back. But the energy color, as you can see, it's very green, and it's just got a little hint of the yellow. I've gone and reversed this, and one of the things that I actually noticed is that it just doesn't take on the color as well. This is like, when you see the front, it's like a good strong vibrancy and a really, really beautiful mix of the two colors. It didn't carry through in the Syandana. And if I'm gonna be honest, and I've said this a million times before, if you're gonna release a deluxe collection or a prime access pack, all of your themes should be mixed well together. They should all carry throughout. And because of the fact that the energy effect on this one does not like mimic, it's not even close. Like this looks like a completely different energy like flow to this. This doesn't have that same emissive, and it really, really bothers me to the point where I'm like, I can't use it on Ivara Prime, which is where I would want to use this. So unfortunately, that's gonna be a no for me. The rest of it I actually didn't mind. I wish that they didn't have the dangly chain parts, but really what misses it is the energy. If they fix that, then I'd happily suggest using it. Now, when it comes to Ivara Prime, I only have a couple Syandanas that I like on her. I was trying out a lot of different ones. One of the ones I kind of enjoyed was the Bennu. I know it's weird, but for some strange reason, when you add this to her Aonassa, you know, the like jellyfish armor set that comes with her, we'll take a look at that later. And I've actually loaded it up on a couple different frames so you can see what it all looks like on different Warframes to figure out whether you think it's worth it or not. That actually works really, really well with her armor set. We'll take a look at that later, like I said. The next one that I really enjoyed on this was the Daru Syandana. It's a classic, but again, this does bother me a little bit. Doesn't bother me as much because you are getting like a good mix of the two colors. Moving along from that, of course, let's see which ones pop up first. Of course, we have the classic Officium. Great mix, great, it just fits so many different things. I hate to toot my own horn, but you know, why fuck with perfection? In addition, I like the Rhoda Syandana. You wouldn't see it here because of course, like, we need to make sure that the colors are in the right places, but I feel like it fits quite nicely on there. I really like the Saturn 6 on her. Yo, I am feeling Ivara Prime with Grineer accessories. She just looks like a straight up badass with that on. I also like the stick Syandana. It kind of reminds me of an anglerfish, and because of the fact that she's a jellyfish, it's kind of like all of those deep sea vibes. However, I will point out that the textures on these are slightly different than the texture on the actual skin itself, so you might have to lighten up a couple of the shades to make them match dead on, but I still think that they're a good fit. There's going to be clipping with her ponytail pretty much no matter what you do, so you're just going to have to kind of accept that that's the case. So those are the ones that I'm going to suggest for her. I'm just panning and scrolling through real quick if there's anything else that I enjoyed, but for the most part, I really just like the back attachments. She's already a very busy frame, so me personally, I might do Officium, I might do Saturn 6. Those are the ones that I would strongly lean towards, but listen, it's your skin, it's your frame, you do whatever the hell you want to do with it. Alrighty, so rounding out our looks, I really wanted to do something kind of like soft, romantic, a little bit rosy, a little bit peachy. I just wanted to embrace like the true jellyfishness. I even went, and I feel like this is something I call pulling a hydroxate, because whenever he customizes, or at least whenever he used to customize, he would take like literal things in real life and kind of translate them over into his actual customizations. Now me, I'm really, really particular when it comes to things like that, but I found this gorgeous picture of a jellyfish, and it was kind of like this creamy color, and it had some coral tones and some like pinky tones, and I was like, I need to do that. I'm gonna pull a hydroxate and get down with all of this jellyfishery. So this is the look that I came up with, but I'm also going to be giving you an alternate color code because while this is on theme, I really wanted to show off how a pop of color would kind of intensify all of this because I was playing around with a lot of different pinks, and again, I thought that this was very on theme. It matched that picture very, very closely, but you can't tell me that that's not kind of dope too. Can't tell me that that's not kind of dope too. This is from the Valentine's Day palette, and I was doing a lot of playing around, and that's why it kind of takes me a while to do these videos, because it's not just like, let's slap some color on. It's like, let's slap some color on, then compare. Which look do I want to show you? Do I want to show you this look? Do I want to show you this look? Do I maybe give you options? But just putting that out there, this is something that you should definitely investigate and play around with. Like, I cannot like applaud the team anymore with what they've done with these energy emissives, because they are freaking gorgeous. I absolutely love them. But we're gonna stick with that. We're gonna kind of keep it soft and pure, and then we're gonna toss on one of my favorite attachments. One of my favorite freaking attachments. This way, am I looking at the appropriate side? It might be this side that gets it. Is it it's the Photo Somid. Hold on. Proto Somid? Proto, nope. I don't, Infested? Nope, that's not it. So it must be the other arm. I really, really like the there you go. I was right the first time around. I freaking love this on Ivara. Again, I'm kind of pulling from that inspiration that we had with the Zato Excalibur skin, where we had like the one shoulder with a creature on it. But I have to say that the blend of colors on this really matches well with the whole jellyfishery thing she's going on. Yes, there's going to be some clipping, but I think that it actually fits really, really nicely with this and kind of accents the energy colors that are going on in there. So if you really want to drive home the fact that, you know, Ivara's pretty, but she's a pretty huntress, jellyfish-like, okay? This is definitely one of the ways to go and do that. Now, if we're going to talk about standard armors, actually, let's close out on the Itan. Let's close out on the Itan armor. But she fits so well with so many different things, and that's why I was saying this is hands down a Skyerzz bias. I don't know what he did, but like the attachment points to these armor pieces are really, really good. And she's looking very, very right. So part of me is just kind of like, yo, she looked good with the Atavist. She looks good with the Edo Prime. Like, again, I always say Edo Prime is a great, what is it called? A great investment. And I like the fact that it's kind of a clash of energies. It's almost like bioluminescent, like literally bioelectricity. So she's like eel and jellyfish at the same time. Just mix all of the oceanic creatures, even though I'm not sure if eels are necessarily oceanic. I'm sure that there are some there. Another great one is the Ethereal pieces. Like, all of them actually fit quite nicely on her. Girl, where's your other Ethereal one? There's way too many to recommend, but the ones that I really enjoy, like, and I would kind of change around the colors in this because the Ethereal can be a little bit busy, but as you can see, it just fits her so nicely. She can even rock the Vitalas. I'm like, this is bias. This is Skyerzz bias. I feel like this is not fit. Look at her. How? It's so, like, you would think that with a skin like this that you couldn't pull off a whole bunch of different things, but even this with the little what is it called, with the little sentient energies coming out of it, kind of looks a little bit jellyfish like they had been plotting this for some time, and I'm kind of angered at it. There are so many really good ones, but the ones that I really want to show off, even Imugi looks good on her. I'm upset. I'm really upset. Even the chest piece of Imugi, hold on, let me show you this real quick. Because that Imugi chest piece doesn't always work with things. And I was like, you know what? That actually kind of works. Why does that kind of work? Because it's got the dangle. It's got the dangles up here, and then the dangle here, and then it's got the dangle down here, and then it matches all of the other dangles. And I'm like, how? How? Even the Hulta. I don't put the Hulta on very many Warframes just because it's really, really finicky. So I'm just like, I don't know, but I feel like the Hulta kind of is working. I feel like the Hulta is kind of working on her. And like I said, it's some Skyerzz bitch-ass bias. I'm telling you right now, he really put the bias all up in here. I was like, how could you? How could you? But look, it's the Skyerzz bias. I'm so mad right now. But before we do move on, I want to go ahead and show off. Do you see the, okay, because I'm going to toss on the Galvanic set, which is not something that works on everybody, but because of the Skyerzz bias, I'm just putting that out there. Like, legitimately, GHI, right? It's like here. And then let me put on the chest piece. Let me just show you that this works. And it makes me angry that this works. Why does this work? Why does it look so good? That with the Saturn 6 Syandana on the back. I'm angry at how well this just matches. Just matches too good. I'm just saying that right now. So let's go ahead and jump into the Aonassa Itan Prime stuff, because we're going to go ahead and swap things out a little bit. As you can tell, I'm really, really happy with the way that they did the Ivara customizations, and the way that most armors, not every single armor, is going to fit perfectly on her, but I really do like it a lot. So, as you can see, that is what the Aonassa Itan Prime stuff looks like. It's very, like, you know, movement based, kind of like our Itans, really flows like a jellyfish. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I actually had my doubts as to whether I like this or not. But what got me after playing around with a couple different like Warframes is it's really the chest piece that's finicky. I like the shoulders, both the shoulder pieces and the leg pieces. They're fantastic. I actually love the leg pieces. I love how they flare out. I feel like it's just right. And also the chest piece is the only thing that really gets me depending on the placement of the Warframe. I forgot to show you another thing. I'll show it to you like at the very, very end. Oh no, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You listen, I'll save it for Sunday's video. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at how this armor set fits on different Warframes. Because I'm telling you right now, it's got some hits. It's got some misses. Like, I was not super fond of how it looked on Mirage Prime. I was like, I don't know, it's a little bit weird, it's a little bit wonky. But then I put it on Necros Prime, and I was like, yo, y'all can suck it. That looks dope on Necros Prime. You cannot tell me anything. You cannot say that this does not look really fucking sickening on Necros Prime, right? It looked so good, and I was like, all right, let's play around. We got Saren Prime. That looks good on Saren Prime too. It looks really good on Saren Prime too. Maybe knock out the chest piece. The chest piece is like my least favorite bit because it's kind of like the boobs are trying to fondle you back. I don't like my boobs being fondled, but I also don't want my boobs to be fondling anybody else. I feel like that's inappropriate. Like, listen, only with my consent. And I don't consent for my boobs to be fondling other things. I even tossed it on Wukong and I was like, yo, that's not bad either. It's really just the chest bits that kind of throw me off. But like the shoulder and the leg parts, I'm like, worth it. Worth it, baby, I'm worth it. So I felt pretty good about that. I'm still a little bit disappointed with the Syandana, but the armor set, chef's kiss. And finally we arrive at your favorite part of the video where we swap a little bit of head as well as a little bit of body, because let me tell you, I've been seeing so many of you tweet at your Tennogen content creators and kind of like meshing their skins with Ivara Prime, and I'm like, yo, I need to get this video published so I can take a look for myself, because as many of you guys know, I don't actually look at these ahead of time. I wait so I can give you guys a live reaction and see how bad or good this could potentially be. So let's kick things off with the Ivara Arcuda helmets. Now this is like the mustache one, which I really like from Stench Fury, but unfortunately I don't feel like the textures work too well, and Stench does a lot of blending and a lot of, what's the word I want to say, infested stuff. So aside from that little energy whisker that she's got going on, unfortunately I don't feel like it fits all too well. Moving along, the base of our helmet, it just don't look good. Here's the thing. I think it could look good with, like, you know, if they added, if they made that part metallic maybe, but it just, that's usually where it all kind of falls apart a little bit for me. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Ivara Loxy helmet. Is it just me? Or does this look a lot like the Mesa Presidio one? I completely forgot about how that worked ages ago, but again, the textures are not quite right. I'm excited to see this one, which is the Ivara Yokai helmet. I'll be honest with you, it's not my favorite. I don't think that any of these helmets really live up. And we're gonna close things off on Zoroastra helmet. Now this is actually, I think this is where Skyerzz did something from spite. Because where me and Skyerzz, well, we didn't meet this way, but this is where he actually like messaged me about this at one point, where I was ragging on this helmet really bad. Now, as you guys know, with the original Ivara skin, it was very, like, tattery and kind of, like, a little bit feathery looking. And I had made mention that I hated this helmet because it looked like it was just drapes of toilet paper coming down from the hat. And I was like, toilet paper doesn't look like the same texture as they have on the skirt. And it was a fair point. And he was mad because I had said something. Well, he wasn't mad. He was mad. Because of the fact that I made fun of his toilet paper hat. But that's why I think he made the Jellyfish hat, to be like, well, it doesn't look like toilet paper anymore, does it, jackass? So, you can kind of thank me. I'm just saying. You don't have to, but, I mean, you should. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's the Ivara Arcuda skin. This is not a good look. I wasn't prepared to instantly go into another one, but not fond of this. Again, I think Stench does a great job with the infested stuff, but when it comes to like meshing with primes, maybe not the greatest. Let's take a look at the basic Ivara skin. That's also kind of embarrassing. Not super fond of that either. And now that I look at it, oh, you see the little skirt thing? That does not look like toilet paper at all. And I don't really like some of how the colors take on it. Ugh. And then finally, we have the yokai skin. Now, here's the thing. This is, actually, both of these are Tennogen skins. We should go ahead and turn on the prime details. Oh! I mean, I still don't love it with the prime details on, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So that's us going back to the Arcuda skin. Don't necessarily love it with the prime details on. It's fine, but it's not my favorite. Now let's go ahead and swap into the yokai skin. Let's take a look at it on its own. So on its own, again, the skirt is not cool because it doesn't have the cool jellyfish items on it. But if you want to turn it on, it actually kind of fits seamlessly, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, that's how clean Hitsu-san's designs are, but you can see little hints of his design aspect in it, like the little cross-hatching V's with the texture there, the little leg plates that kind of come up over here. It's really, really cool that you can kind of still, you still get the prime, but you still get a little bit of a Hitsu-san twist on it. So you can even see the quilting up there too. Impressive at how he just blends. He just blends so well. And you know what? That's a sign of good Tennogen right there, because it doesn't matter if you're using prime. Actually, do I like this better? Do I like the combination better? Give me a moment. I might, you know what? Hold on. I think it's really a toss-up, because they've got metal accents in different places. Like, the metal accents are a little bit higher on here, and she's got better, like, metallic accents down there. I kind of like the quilting on the front just a little bit better. It kind of gives more of a pop of color. Ooh, options! Okay, so like I was saying, it's one of those things where it's like, it's the nice investment that you know that when a prime comes out, that the skin blends really, really well with it, so your investment is retained. So Hitsu-san, always a great motherfucking investment. Regardless, that's gonna do it for me for now. Let me know how you guys feel about all of the different customizations. Which one did you like the best? I'm very tempted to do a video of just like, maybe I'm not even gonna talk over it, but it's just gonna be skirt colors. Let me know if that's something you want down in the comments below. But yeah, also, which one was your favorite customization? And I think that's it for me for now. I hope I gave you guys a little bit of inspiration for your own Ivara Prime access. Don't forget, I will be live streaming tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time over at twitch.tv/TheGayGuyPlays, and we'll be doing nodewihoe Day 4 giveaways over there. But yeah, as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.